zoning commission members. And I think we've got the mayor from Ladonia here to address that issue. Would you like to come first and tell us where the city of Ladonia is? Yes. Come on up.
Y'all hear me okay? Y'all have to bear with me. I'm a little under the weather here today. I'm the mayor of Ladonia. We've come well over in between here and Commerce. We've come today because we voted last meeting. We voted to have Mr. Russell Duckworth stand in and take Mr. Greg Morris's place on the board. Well, as our representative, if that is what the commission would like.
Okay, well, let's, I understand that. And my question, I think I remember from back when Jan was the representative on the board for the city, we let her finish up her term when Greg was appointed to that position. So she finished up her term, as I recall. Jerry, you probably remember that.
That is correct.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking probably Greg's term would go through the end of the year. So I think that's my deal is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure that out. And I'm trying to figure out, I think we've got some position changes coming up towards the end of the year anyway. And I'm talking about, I don't know if Commissioner Magnus will want to stay on.
No, I won't turn it over to incoming commissioner.
So that may be, you know, and we've got a couple of other gentlemen whose terms are in 2025, and I need to check, see where they are. I like people staying on if they're doing their jobs and want to stay on. And so I think that's where we are. We got a petition from a number of people in the area who want Greg to stay on. And that makes it interesting because if we got, I think the list, I think everybody got a copy of the petition. A lot of people want Greg to stay on, but I think the city of Ladonia is entitled to have their representative on there. And Greg may end up taking one of the positions of the people who may be coming off. So that's my patchwork fix to that, I think. So we do recognize that the city of Ladonia has a right to have somebody on there. I think I want to do what we did. We let Chan stay on to the end of the year, and I think we let Greg finish up the year, and then you guys, your guy comes on. Are you okay with that, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. That works out phenomenally for us. I don't have any more to bring to you today. If y'all have anything else for me while I'm standing here.
Oh, let me ask your name again. I'm a little off. I apologize.
Justin Bratton, Bratton.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you here, and I do understand you're under the weather, and yes, that's why we have the podium away from us.
All right. Well, thank you all for y'all's time today.
Well, get well. Yes, thank you, sir. And I'm Mr. Morris, I'm assuming you don't need to speak. You'd like to speak? Well, come forward. And we do appreciate your service.
Thank y'all. Back when all this took place and Jan was removed from the board and everything, and several things happened on the board because some things weren't done correctly when all the members were put on. And it was decided that by the commissioners that the new mayor would take the seat that would be vacated, and or she could designate someone else to do that. And in doing that, she was going through a pretty tough time in life. She had cancer, and so she decided she wanted to let someone else do that. So she asked me if I would do it. And I said, sure. You know, she said, well, you're the one that knows pretty well most about what's going on with with the lake situation and all, she said, I think you'd do good. Hope I've done good. But my biggest question is why, because I didn't, when all this is taking place, I understood that it wasn't a political thing and it wasn't the office of the person that was appointed, it was the person. So why are we allowing the city of Ladonia to appoint someone through them for the city? The city has enough on its hands without needing someone to represent them. They need somebody to represent that area, that's for sure. But as far as the city has zoning and planning and zoning for themselves, and they've done nothing, absolutely nothing. And so I don't quite understand why they are able to appoint someone to be seated on that board. It should be a Fannin County citizen, not necessarily someone appointed by the city. The city shouldn't have anything to do with it. That's my opinion.
Well, I was tangentially involved, and gone back and looked at some of the minutes, and I think it was pretty clear that the city was supposed to have a representative that they could nominate. Now, the peculiar thing about in the planning that went into it, I remember Judge Moore, he was wanting to make sure that most of the people on that board were connected to the lake in some way. He didn't want people serving who lived, up on the boat arc or who lived, down in Ladonia. He wanted people that had a vested interest in the zoning and development around the area. And looking back at the discussion, it was pretty important looking at those notes that somebody from the city be on the board. Now, the reason for that, the zoning commission, and the reason for that is there is an unusual relationship between Upper Trinity and the city of Ladonia. The city of Ladonia actually can be, as I read the contracts, can be required to annex all the property and the lake into their city. Right. So that's unusual. I guarantee you the city of Bonham doesn't have that deal with North Texas. So that it's a little bit of a different situation, and I think that's probably why the city was given a call on who serves on that committee. So I can't get back into Judge Moore's head at that time and the people who were voting on that, but maybe they can't either. But it looks, looking at the notes that we have, it looks like that was what was done, and it makes sense considering their relationship with the Upper Trinity.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, kind of, but still not satisfied with it, but that's life. So,
well, I think the biggest thing was, on June the 14th, 2022, it had to be from the city council. That person had to be recommended from the city council, or the mayor or her designee from the city council is what it says.
yes, it does say that. That is true.
And like the guy says, we're a victim of our own history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you both for being here and appreciate your concern. If I could make everybody happy, life would be very easy. Probably start with my wife. Okay. Let's move on to